you understand now that you are no longer a fairy in a platonic super world, but that you are actually a monkey with a brain full of mush trying to sort out, what's right in front of you.
What's up, Reflection? It's another video, another day, another topic. Been receiving lots of downloads recently from all this cosmic energy and all the consciousness, all the conscious energy that is raising within the vicinity of where I live. I've been looking for insights, looking for different ways to explain things, and today I have a download for you guys that I received, and that is mindfulness. Now, what is mindfulness? Before I answer that question, I'm gonna make you aware of the fact that most of you who are watching this are completely scattered, completely broken inside, and completely broken outside. We put on this mask every single day. We wear this suit every single day without questioning what the fuck we're doing and why the fuck we're doing it. Now, what if I told you you were a slave? A slave to what? A slave to your mind? A slave to society? A slave to school? A slave to this whole system that we live as a part of? Now you might be asking, why am I a slave? Why am I a slave to my mind? Well, here's an exercise that can help you see that you are a slave to your mind and how you really have almost no control over your mind at this point in time. Although you have an infinite amount of potential in mastering your mind, but you just probably have not even thought of that, probably have not even considered that as a possibility. So here's an exercise that you can do right now. I want you to try this. Close your eyes. Find an image that resonates with you. Think of something that resonates with you and hold your focus on it for 5 seconds. Okay, kind of easy, kind of maybe a little difficult, maybe a little like, whoa, what the fuck? Now, try doing it for a whole minute without letting any thoughts take your focus away. Now you'll see that that is a whole lot more difficult. And the reason being is because we are so fucking overstimulated all day, every single day. We have so much clutter in our minds that we don't even give ourselves a second in the day to just sit and be in the present moment, doing nothing, thinking nothing, just observing. We're always constantly projecting and projecting and projecting, or receiving energy and receiving energy, just like how in school they drill your fucking mind with a bunch of problems, a bunch of things to solve. There's not enough silence in your mind. There's too much chatter, too much constant blah, 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 blah. There's too much of that to even obtain a clear mind at this point for you. You live your life on autopilot. You live your life as a slave, incapable of doing and being where you would rather be. Just listening, just taking everything, just being a sheep. being a part of the fucking herd. And now, this is not to put people down. I was there. I was there for 15 years of my life. This is just me bringing awareness to you, making sure that you see this, because if you don't see this or you're unwilling to see this, then you're going to be asleep all of your fucking life. You're going to be a slave all of your fucking life. Now tell me, what is it you want? What is it you do everything for? Why do you go to work? Why do you do drugs? Happiness. You just want happiness. You want security. You want to fulfill these inner feelings, these inner desires. Now, how the fuck, ask yourself, how the fuck are you gonna obtain any of these desires with no focus? If you can't focus and hold your focus on something and completely do it and give it your all, if you can't hold your focus, how the fuck are you gonna do that? Question. Ask questions to yourself all the time. Here's one. Who am I? Who really am I? What is this? What is all this? Why am I here? What is my purpose? Now, when you ask, who am I, your mind might think, oh, I'm this body, I'm in this body, I'm in control of this body, I am Kavan, I am the role that I play. Can you take a sec and step back from the role that you play every single day? Your desires, your likes, your dislikes, your hates, your name, your race, whatever the fuck you identify as. Can you take a sec and see that that's not truly all that you are? It's just a facet of yourself, just a tiny piece of you. Can you see that you, what you actually are, is energy? Can you see that deep within you, there is something called life essence, pure being, consciousness? You are consciousness, a point of awareness that is watching everything happen around it. Can you see that right now? Mindfulness. What is mindfulness? Could be many different definitions, but how I'm going to tell you what mindfulness is that mindfulness is a way of life that has the potential to improve your mental and physical overall well-being, as well as induce creative energy, as well as show you what true happiness is, show you true contentment. Now, most of your days, you probably live and suffer. You probably live in absolute fucking disgust and pain. Now, I'm not saying that's every single one of you, but there has to be a few of you that experience that on a daily basis. Excruciating pains that you don't know how to deal with, that you don't know how to cope with, so you go to material objects to help cope with it. How often do you just have emotions and not address them at all and just allow them to fuck you mentally and physically? See, when you're sad and when you hold on to that feeling and completely identify with that feeling, you become that feeling. You convince yourself that that's what you are. I am sad, I cry, I'm depressed, I hate my life. Slavery. It's slavery. You're conforming. when you embody these emotions, it is delusion. It is delusion that you're living in. So now back to mindfulness. You are just a point of awareness watching this all happen. Yes, thoughts may come to you, emotions may come to you, but are you even thinking the thoughts? Are they your thoughts? Think about that. Now, picture your mind as a radio. When you tune into different frequencies of thought, you feel different vibrations, different emotions. Same way as when you go to 103.3 The Vibe on the radio. That's a hip-hop station. You feel the vibrations of hip-hop. Now let's say 99.9 country station, or whatever the fuck. It's a different vibration. So when you tune into thoughts, you're just tapping into different frequencies. Your mind is a radio, receiving all of these signals of energy. And you feel these different emotions every single time a thought comes. Now, your mind only projects a thought to you and brings a thought to you, a thought to your awareness, because of the energy around it that it receives constantly. When you're in a city with many people, a lot of traffic, people walking fast as fuck down and up the streets, you probably feel a little clustered, probably feel a little hectic, probably have thoughts of anxiety, of fears, of But now when you're in a valley of trees, in a valley of surrounded by nature, you'll find that it's a lot easier to feel better inside. You're connecting with the source of life. When your mind receives energy, it produces thought. After thought comes the emotion. And now, in the instance of thought, most people would just go and unconsciously react to it. Let's say if they get frustrated, they lash out. They don't know how to keep themselves contained. They don't know how to calm themselves down and do whatever they're doing with ease. They continue that frustration. So when you react out of frustration, anger, disappointment, shame, anything, you're using your lower mind. You're using your subconscious mind, the reptilian brain. Your reptilian brain produces all kinds of hormones, such as stress, adrenaline, cortisol. These are known as fight or flight hormones. And this is what fires off in animals when they're running from the face of death. Picture a deer running from a fucking lion or something. When you constantly think, exist, and react to things out of this level of the mind, you'll find that life is fucking suffer. You will find that it's difficult living. It's difficult living only through that facet of yourself. You go through a lot of trouble when you live through that. You're always reacting. You're constantly taking offense to things that people say or do to you. And the further you go into your unconsciousness, When you react to your emotions, people would use drugs to cover it up, to put a band-aid on it. Oh, I have depression, I have to go take pills for it. I don't have to deal with it, I just have to take a pill, and it'll be okay. See, now, that's what they want you to think. So they can fucking rape your pockets of money. Anyways, that's another subject. I'll go into it later. But, think of this. When you're able to see through the blinds that are over your eyes, that have been put over your eyes by things such as this, school, such as television, media, all this programming in your fucking mind. When you're able to see through those blinds that have been put over your eyes, you're tapping into your higher self. When you're able to hold your awareness for longer than 2 seconds, you become close, you're getting closer to becoming your true self. As I said before, what you are is pure consciousness. What you are is just awareness behind all of these life events that are presented to you. Now, when you take off the blinds and see through these things that keep your vision all clouded, keep you in a hectic state of thought, state of emotion, where you're not able to control it at all, when you see through that, you're training your mind. You're gaining control over this tool, over this muscle. Through mindfulness, you access mastery of the mind. You access freedom of the mind. If you were just able to sit still and be content doing nothing, just being in the present moment, existing, as you always initially are, you're just distracted from it. If you were able to do that, you would never be stressed. You would never be worried. You would never have fears clouding you and taking control of your mind. You would be free. But right now, most of you watching this are caged as fuck. Locked down. Can't see. Can't do what you really want to do. Slavery. It is slavery. Now, in order to free oneself from these lower vibrations that we tend to resonate at, such as anger, hatred, fear, you know them all, depression, you must realize that most of your life, you're operating on what? You're operating on autopilot through your unconscious mind, the reptilian brain, the reactive mind. The mind that takes offense to every single thing because it has to be some certain way. It has to have other people to see it some certain way. Now, do you see that you only feel anger, sadness, stress, depression because of the way that you've been programmed to see things? You only feel these emotions because you were taught to see things a certain way. Everything around you is thought. Everything around you is a manifestation of thought. When you look at this, you think, leaf. It's not a fucking leaf. It's not the label leaf. It's much deeper than this. Now, ask yourself, why do I think so pessimistically, so negatively about everything, if you do? And in the instance of a challenge or frictional thought or emotion that makes you feel uncomfortable, take a second. Take a second and just listen. Step back for a second. Step back from the reactions that your mind will produce. Just sit with it. Be it. Feel it. Don't resist it, just feel it. Just accept every single thing about it. Don't project. Pay conscious attention to these things. When you feel a conflicting thought that really makes your insides burn and just with pain and suffer and hurt, take a second and step back. Pay conscious attention to why you're feeling this. Is it just your perspective on a certain thing? Are you viewing that certain thing in a negative viewpoint? Can you possibly shift your perspective to an optimistic viewpoint? Now, if you're able to keep a habit of doing this every single time you feel that, you'll notice that these things just tend to get easier and easier. Life tends to get easier and easier, and everything starts going your way. Why? Because you're mastering your mind. You're no longer a slave. You're breaking out. You're free. And the closer you're getting to becoming your truest and best version, you're unleashing your potential instead of keeping it caged. Wake up. Get yourself in fucking check. Become conscious. Become aware of your state of being at all times. Know what you're doing at all times. Why you're doing it. Is it conscious or unconscious? Conscious being that you choose to do this. Unconscious being it's autopilot. It's instinctual. It just impulsively happens. Pay attention to how much you use each of those minds. Each of those parts of the mind. And you will gain infinite abundance of control and happiness. Now, I must proceed with my day now. Much love, peace, and consciousness. Peace out, reflection.